Good afternoon to all our pastels and employers. Thank you for joining us for the inaugural Early Childhood Learning Community's Welcome event. To ensure the best experience during the event, do check that you have the following settings shown on screen in place. Ensure your Wi-Fi connection is stable. If you are using mobile, switch your phone to landscape mode for a better view and for photo taking later on. Click on Join Audio to hear us. Switch to speaker view mode and pin ECDA to your main screen. For pastels, please ensure that you rename yourselves to pastel _ your full name for us to identify you. Please ensure that your pastel-shaped pin that was delivered to you is within your reach throughout the event, as we will be using it during one of the segments later on. You are also encouraged to type your reactions or comments into the chat box to interact with one another during the event. If you require any technical assistance along the way, do send a private message to our technical administrator via the chat box so that they can assist you. The event will begin shortly, so do stay with us. Good afternoon to all our pastels and employers. Thank you for joining us for the inaugural Early Childhood Learning Communities Welcome event. To ensure the best experience during the event, do check that you have the following settings shown on screen in place. Please also ensure that your pastel-shaped pin that was delivered to you is within your reach throughout the event, as we will be using it during one of the segments later on. You are also encouraged to type your reactions or comments into the chat box to interact with one another during the event. If you require any technical assistance along the way, do send a private message to our technical administrator via the chat box so that they can assist you. The event will begin very shortly, so do stay with us. Thank you. Good afternoon, Minister of State for Social and Family Development and Education, Ms. Xueling, Chief Executive of ECDA, Mr. Tan Chi Wee, Assistant Chief Executive of ECDA, Ms. Ng Mei Ling, ECLC Pastels, employers, resource persons, and colleagues. Welcome to the inaugural Early Childhood Learning Communities Welcome event. I'm Sarah, and I will be your MC this afternoon. The ECLC is a new initiative for EC educators by EC educators. It provides a platform for senior educators across the sector to come together to advance their pedagogical practices through peer sharing and learning. Today, we are happy to welcome on board our inaugural batch of Pedagogists and Specialists in Teaching and Learning, or PASTELs in short. In the next 2 years, they will engage in 4 learning communities in different areas. To get everyone warmed up for this happy occasion, let's do a Zoom poll together. Does everyone see the Zoom options on your screen? Yes? Now, please select the option that resonates most with you. Tell us what is one superpower you wish you have daily at work. Would it be, I wish to be able to unleash children's potentials? Or I wish to have 8 arms like an octopus to multitask? Or is it I wish I can turn any situation into a learning opportunity? Or I wish to make all children under my care happy all day? So I have to say that our early childhood educators are our unsung superheroes with many superpowers, and you may not even realize the superpower that you possess that is creating a positive impact on children under your care. So everyone, employers, pastels, please join us in this light-hearted poll to find out which other superpower you wish you could have that would help you power up at work. So for myself, I think I wish to make all children under my care happy all day, because I think that is one of the hardest tasks to do. Our children may have their sad moments, frustrated moments, unhappy moments, and of course, we always want to see them happy the most all day. Okay, so let's see how many people have sent in your responses. So it seems like most of you have sent in your responses. So we're ending the poll in 3 seconds. Let's take a look at your responses now. Let's wait for the results to come up on screen to share with everyone. Okay, let me see which, okay, all of you agree with me. I think I can read all your minds. That is my superpower today. I have psychic powers. So all of you also wish to have the ability to make all children under your care happy indeed. So how come nobody wants to be an octopus to multitask? Octopus look a bit not the best looking animal, is it? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for all of your responses. And to be honest, all these superpowers can really be found deep within us to manage our daily work with our very best. So once again, we'd like to show our appreciation once more to all of you, our EC educators, because you are our everyday unsung superheroes. Okay, I'm sure everyone will have noticed by now that our pastels virtual backgrounds have been beautifully and uniquely decorated, because prior to today, we invited all of our pastels to personalize their virtual backgrounds with how they feel about embarking on ECLC. So shall we invite a few pastels to share with us the meaning behind their creatively customized backgrounds? Okay, let me take a look. Okay, could I invite Norliza? Norliza, could you turn on your camera? Introduce your destination and which center you are from, and to share with us more about your nice background.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Minister and all the directors here. My name is Norliza from onboard Educare. Okay, so just to share on my background. P, I put it as productive. So we hope that we can be productive during the pastel program as well as at work as well. And authentic, I think we all need to be real and authentic in sharing our experiences. S is selfless. I think as educators, we are always going beyond time and effort and all the way for the children and our colleagues. Thrilled, of course, it's a new program, it's a new embark. We hope to be thrilled to embark on this program. Enlightened, I hope to learn from everyone else as well and be enlightened with the strategies and the ideas and every input that everyone has. And as well as L for being linguistic. I think we will need to speak up in this position and this program. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Norliza, for your wonderful sharing. Okay, let me pick somebody else with a very creative background. Okay, I see Rachel. Rachel, could you please on your camera say hi to everyone and let us know your destination and center? And do share with us the chosen words that you have on your virtual background as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rachel from, I'm a senior teacher at Hebron Christian Preschool. And so I've chosen passionate P for P because I'm passionate about my work in early childhood. And I chose adventurous for A because I'm adventurous about the new ideas for outdoor learning, and spirited for S because I'm excited about the learning opportunities, and I would like to continue to have a teachable heart to learn from others and to be expectant of the unknown being here for the next 2 years, and to continue to be a lifelong learner, to step out of my comfort zone and to grow and to be pruned. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. So if you have seen similar words that you share with Norliza and you share with Rachel, do leave an emoji in the chat box or let us know that you have the same words actually. Okay, I think we do have one more time for another sharing. Could we have a look at teacher Priya's virtual background? Hi Priya, could you introduce your designation and center before sharing with us about your background?
Hi everyone. So I'm Priya. I'm a senior teacher at Eaton House at Benda branch. So for mine for the pastels that for P, how I feel is I feel positive that now that I could be I'm able to contribute to the EC sector. For A is I'm feeling really awesome that this is a good opportunity for me to really build network with other teachers and other teaching specialists to actually bring forward in terms of literacy and language. S for super. I'm also thrilled, T for thrilled, because I think this is something really new which is happening for under ECDA, and I'm really excited to take on this part. Empowered is E for empowered because I think I want to feel empowered being able to connect with other teachers and also empower others as other teachers as well through my pedagogical practices. And lucky, L is for lucky because I think I definitely feel really honored being part of this whole journey.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Priya. Thank you to all of you for sharing. So as you can see, there's only 6 alphabets in Pastel, but all of you can come up with so many different words of your own. And it really means a lot to us to know how you feel about embarking on ECLC today. So thank you everyone for taking time to make a very nice virtual background. And thank you Pastels for being so spontaneous in decorating your own backgrounds. And as the name Pastel suggests, all of us have our own colors, but when we come together in our learning communities, we will be able to create many beautiful pictures with multiple colors in the most creative ways. So thank you again, Pastels. We are very happy to have Minister of State for Social and Family Development and Education, Ms. Xueling, join us this afternoon. May we now invite MOS to deliver the welcome address, please. MOS.
Thank you. Thank you, ECLC, Pastels, employers, colleagues. How wonderful to see everyone here on this Zoom platform. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person sometime soon. I think we will all benefit from the in-person interaction and learning from each other. I'm very happy to join you today at this Early Childhood Learning Community or ECLC welcome event. If I may quote Tim Berners-Lee, some of you may know him, the scientist who co-invented the World Wide Web. We need diversity of thought in the world to face new challenges. To nurture future curriculum and pedagogical leaders, ECDA has created the ECLC platform to bring together senior educators to advance pedagogical practices, knowledge, and leadership in specific domains through peer sharing and learning. When our educators share and learn from one another, these interactions help to generate new knowledge, foster collaboration, and build trust. This effort to tap into the collective wisdom of our teachers will allow the sector to meet rising expectations on teaching quality, as well as to cater to the diverse learning needs of our children. It is my pleasure to meet our inaugural batch of Pastels this afternoon. I wish to thank all of you for being part of the learning communities, and the beautiful name Pastel is a recognition of the key role we know that you will all play in advancing good pedagogical practices and knowledge within the ECLC sector. During the MSF's Committee of Supply debates earlier this month, I shared about our continued investments in early childhood development to give all our children a good start in life. At the heart of these efforts are our educators who strive to provide every child with quality education and care. Today, we have initiatives to support the professional development of EC educators at various points of their careers. The professional development programs targets infant and early years educators, preschool educators, and center leaders with good potential to take on larger job roles in their organizations. We also have the ECDA Fellows program to recognize our senior leaders and provide them with opportunities to contribute to the professional growth of the EC fraternity. The newly introduced Leadership Development Framework, LDF, will guide our educators to grow their leadership competencies in curriculum and pedagogy, as well as strategic and administrative domains. LDF will be supported by the Leadership Training Roadmap, which will aid EC leaders' progressive competency building through courses as well as milestone programs. Finally, the Skills Framework for Early Childhood, revised in 2021. It sets out the career pathways and competencies for various job roles in the sector. Key changes include the expanded career pathways for lead early years educator and curriculum and pedagogy specialist roles. We hope to nurture a group of pedagogical specialists who are passionate about direct teaching practices and whose expertise and knowledge have a positive impact on our children from diverse backgrounds with different learning needs. ECLC is a platform beyond formal classroom training. It is for PASTELs to learn and acquire pedagogical practices and knowledge in key domain areas such as early years competencies, outdoor learning, language and literacy, and social and emotional development. These also reflect the priority areas for our sector going forwards. Our PASTELs come from various organizations and have various experiences in the sector. In your learning communities, you will benefit from sharing best practices and ideas with your peers. As future pedagogical leaders, you will contribute to the development of children and educators at your preschools. You will also lead communities of practice or COPs in the sector and help embed a culture of peer sharing and learning. We hope that these COPs will benefit some 300 early childhood educators within the next 2 years. ECDA will fully support PASTELs in this journey. You can look forward to complementary and customized professional development programs such as dialogues with local or overseas experts, as well as a professional development grant to support your individual learning needs. ECDA has also appointed resource persons to facilitate your learning, communities, and provide guidance and professional advice during your 2-year terms. With us today are the employers of our PASTELs, who have shown tremendous support for this initiative. To enable PASTELs in fulfilling their ECLC communities, we will provide all employers with manpower relief support of up to $800 annually per ECLC member. I hope ECLC will be an impactful program for your organization and the sector at large. The ECLC is an initiative for EC educators by EC educators. I encourage everyone to make the most out of your time as a PASTEL. And I wish all of you a meaningful and enriching journey in the next 2 years, and I look forward to your contributions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MOS, for your words of encouragement and welcome on board to all our PASTELs once again. For the next segment of today's event, we have invited 4 PASTELs, each from a different learning community, to share with us their philosophy on early childhood education, their passion for their learning community's domain area, as well as their aspirations for pedagogical excellence. And kickstarting this segment is Ms. Rina Ong, Senior Preschool Teacher from eBridge Preschool, who is in the Early Years Competencies Learning Community. Rina, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, for the introduction. So good afternoon to everybody, including Minister, Ms. Sun, our AXL personnel, fellow teachers, and all the employers here. Hope you had a good lunch. And yes, I'm Rina here, a senior preschool teacher currently in E-Reach Preschool. Yes, so I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I'm deeply humbled and honored to be able to be a part of this learning community with the ECLC, as well as being nominated by my principal and selected to be a part of this. So let me just share more about myself. All right. Okay, give me a while. Sorry, please give me a while. Can you see? Oh, okay, there you go. So over here, thank you for waiting. Yes, so just to share with you more about my passion, I'm definitely very passionate about the early childhood industry and have been so, ever since young. Yeah, I was always finding ways to be a teacher to my younger sibling, even back when I was in like kindergarten age. And so, I've been in this industry for, 10 years. And most of those years, I was with the early years age group from 18 months to 3 years old. It was up till I joined E-Reach last year that I started to take the K levels again. Yeah, so just let me share more about my teaching philosophy in the next slide. So, this is actually what I truly believe in. I do believe that the essence of my role as an educator is really to provide this safe and secure environment for children, where they feel confident to explore and learn about the world around them. Yes, because, every child has a voice, whether they speak or they don't do. It's mostly from their actions as well. You can see them all. And, with that patience and love that you give them, they will definitely blossom. So I just believe in this, providing these meaningful experiences and a space that nurtures, their curiosity, as well as challenge them to be resilient, individuals, especially in their early years. So in this picture, you can see there's engaging, the children in an experience based on the story of Elmer the elephant. I'm sure all of you know about that. Yeah, and we were exploring different colors with, the droppers and flour. It actually provides this sensory experience for them, and we also invite them to recognize colors when learning is actually made fun and more meaningful. Right, so let me share. Thank you for your patience. All right, so over here I have a lot of pictures. It's actually taken over the years, all right, not limited to this, definitely. So to just share my passion in the early years domain, as a child, I can actually imagine for children themselves, like imagine going to a new environment with unfamiliar adults, right? And they're so tall, they're like giants. And, I have friends, peers want to snatch my toys. I think that would be very much a very scary and a frightening experience for them. So I do truly believe, right, that if, we can, all the experienced teachers should all the more be in the lower levels, because that is where we bridge this gap to build that first impression, children have towards school. Is learning going to be fun, or am I going to come to a second home that's in school where I enjoy learning? So it's actually in these early years that the safe and secure environment is where I can build that trust between the children and myself, as well as between the parents and myself, and the teachers themselves. Yeah. So I think this impression actually came about when I was in my early part of my education, or rather being a teacher. I was actually still an assistant teacher. So that's where my mentor, made a very deep impression, in my life. Yeah, my mentor actually showered lots of care and concern towards this child, being very flexible to meet the needs and settle the child. And, even up to the child graduated, they still remain in contact and continue to see how that child blossom. And I myself do hope that I'll create this warm and nurturing environment for children, even as they continue to develop that love for learning. Yeah, so as you can see at the bottom left, I'm not sure if I can see the picture clearly. Yeah, the bottom left, the first and the second picture, there's this girl who's climbing this playground structure. And the second one is where the girl was sliding down. Yeah, so this experience really touched me a lot because this girl took close to a year. I'm not sure if you had such children. They take a long time to open up. And this girl took close to a year to develop the kind of courage to climb up that really tall playground structure. And it was only after dialoguing with parents that we found out that, oh, she really has a fear of heights. So it came to the point that we noticed she would tremble when she take one step. She's not even that high yet. Yeah, so she really trembled, and over weeks, days, we would just continue to encourage her. And finally, after a whole year, she actually managed to climb up, and then she slid down. She was so afraid, as you can see. She did not even dare to look in front. Yeah, so when she actually came down, I actually got all her friends to just surround, stand in front of the slide and, applaud her because of that courage that she had. Yeah, and through this, I think it reminded me a lot about how we should really work in hand to create that trust with both the kids and the parents. So the parents do know and continue to encourage her. Yeah, so this would really help them to reach their greatest potential. Yes, so moving on. That's my last slide. So let me share more about my aspirations. Even as I join this ECLC community, for myself, I would love to continue to have that passion and the spirit of excellence as an educator. And I do aspire to bring these experiences and the spirit of lifelong learning to contribute and support my fellow educators, and of course to learn, through this learning community, just as I had a mentor. I hope to be a mentoring figure to those around me. Yes, so I hope that together we'll all strive to motivate and develop our future generations. As you can see here, my K2 children, they are all going to be confident thinkers, who will develop that love for learning. Yes, so I hope that we'll all be able to give them the best possible start to life. All right, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rina, for your wonderful sharing. And next up, we have Ms. Farah Mashur Ali, Senior Lead Teacher from ECLC Pedagogists from the Social and Emotional Development Learning Community. Farah, over to you.
Thank you, Sarah. Good afternoon, Minister, employees, and colleagues. So that's me, Farah Mashur Ali. I'm the Senior Lead Teacher at ECLC Pedagogists Limited. I have about 24 years of experience. So let me share. So as I was, I'm actually very grateful to be part of this ECLC community of PASTELs. As I was reflecting on my teaching philosophy, I realized that a lot of times I view children, they're like tiny seeds, they're like seedlings, that we need to nurture. So we use a lot of our love, our care, our concern, to give them what they need. And so these are actually values that they acquire in SED. So I always view the SED is like the foundation of all the other learning domains. So if a child is able to be regulated with good values, they'll be also more stable in their emotions and also behavior, and they'll be able to learn better in all other domains. So my passion for SED grew because I also believe in helping children, right, to be given the space and the time to grow in a safe and a secure environment, and for us to build rapport with them. A space where they can actually be seen, be heard, their voices can be also shared with others. So, talking about space, I remember this incident long time ago when I was caring for a particular child in my center. She always came with a lot of negative emotions. She was always very down. She's sad, she's crying, probably she's going through things that she cannot really voice out. So as a young novice teacher, I was telling myself, how should I help her? How can I help her? So what I did was I actually brought her to the office, because at that time there was only the office as the space. So, I was with her, I stayed very close with her. I really allowed her time and space to release all her negative emotions before she could actually come back and be with the rest of the class. So along the years, I was given more opportunities to participate in more SED projects, of which I would like to share. One of it is called the Knowledge of the Heart project. So basically, this program was mooted with the idea to draw out values for the children. So things like care of self, care of others, respect and love, and how they can actually have strategies and tools to inculcate these values into their lives, so that these can be used for behavior and social emotional regulation. So I'm very grateful for all the opportunities now that I'm also in the PASTEL and this wonderful ECLC learning community. So one of my aspirations is that, together with like-minded early childhood educators like all of us here, we will be able to learn and share more meaningful tools and strategies, how to actually nurture values in the children and be creative in helping them develop to be persons of character. So basically, thank you, everybody. That's more my sharing at the moment.
Thank you, Farah, for your very heartfelt sharing today. Sharing with us next is Miss Maronisa, Senior Lead Teacher from PCF Sparkletots Preschool from the Language and Literacy Learning Community. Nisa, over to you.
Thank you very much, honorable guests. Good afternoon to everybody. And allow me to introduce myself. My name is Maronisa, better known as Nisa. I'm currently Vice Principal at Sparkletots Preschool, PCF. And I started off my career as an assistant teacher back then, 23 years ago. And now my passion for teaching is still growing strong, I should say. Okay, so I'm here to share a little more about my domain in the interest level that I have for language. My philosophy that I may quote here is, in learning, you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. So it goes both ways. When I teach, I also learn, and when I learn, I also teach. So in my philosophy, right, I always think that every child is a unique individual, and through language and literacy, we are there to help them to acquire the skill and knowledge for their lifelong learning. So it can be considered as a learning disposition. And I also strongly believe that all children deserve equal opportunities to become learners, problem solvers, thinkers, and creators as they possess their own skills with language. Okay, so my passion for language and literacy. I am someone who loves to entertain with stories, because I believe that's one attention that we can gather children's attention, and to know that that is my greatest strength in the language domain. And I also always enjoy children who are engaged in dramatization, because they pretend to be someone else, not themselves. It could be teachers, students, mummies, daddies, and it's just a gift to listen to their conversation. So when they are there at play, that's when, as facilitators, we go in and we listen to their conversation, and that's where we are there to, they get the opportunity to practice their language skills and to encourage and communicate with one another with confidence. And it's also a platform for me to model the language and also to assess the children to where they come from, and also to provide the necessary skills that they will need in their development. When it comes to classroom, and when I was teaching, what actually happens is we do interact with children who come from different backgrounds. As we know, we deal with children from diverse families, and we need to cater to their needs. So without language, how are they going to conquer? And when it comes to language and literacy, we know that they face challenges in terms of communication, reading, writing, even listening. And I'm always humbled and encouraged to hear that they aspire to be someone like me during their conversation and during classroom discussions, when we know that they actually want to be teachers. And I also make it a point to provide differentiated opportunities to children to extend their literacy skills, because I believe that they have different needs. And I constantly commit myself to have constant reflections, enhancement, and modeling of the delivery of my profession. And I'm always proud to say that. And if you can allow me, I'm here to share with you a little instance that happened sometime back, and maybe over a few years when I was teaching. During the parent-teacher conference, right? And There are parents who actually come to us, when they come to me, they, instead of discussing the children's progress in their education, they tend to, they feedback to me. That's a positive feedback that I always gather, that they are very thankful of how their children are able to converse in language, in English, or even in mother tongue, because they are so confident. Earlier, when they had doubts that my child may not be able to perform as I think so, because I know we do not come from an English-speaking background, so on and so forth. But nevertheless, it's not just one, but maybe more than about 60 to 70% of them. They actually share with us that the experiences that we provide for them, it gives them a different meaning in language when they acquire the skill. So we get them to perform for dramas and graduation concerts, and to put them up on the stage there and to bring out their talents. So this is something that I'm very grateful that we managed to give them the opportunity, and I really am very honored to establish that in their learning. So furthermore, with this opportunity in ECLC community, my hopes and aspirations that I hope to have, is to continue to inspire and lead my fellow colleagues to provide a better excellence in professional development. And also, I believe that this networking is a great opportunity and honor to build on my knowledge in pedagogy, and of course to learn and share with others in the same sector. So to further create the awareness and build interest in language and literacy for children under our care. By participating in the community, once again, it will also, I believe that, we are able to fill up any missing gaps with regards to the enhancing curriculum that we provide in our program for the betterment of the children, and of course that together with my team of professionals. So I would like to take a great opportunity to say a big thank you, and looking forward for many more learnings to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nisa. You are indeed a very good storyteller. I love your story and anecdote that you shared just now. Okay, and last but never the least, Miss Persiski, pedagogist from NTUC First Campus, who is from the Outdoor Learning community. Persis, over to you.
Thank you. So good afternoon, Minister, employer, and fellow colleagues. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Persis. I'm in this industry for 15 years. So right now I'm with NTUC First Campus, 6 years of being a principal, and right now a pedagogist. So my interest is in plants and parrots, if you see. So you'll know a little bit more later on. So for me, I believe that nature actually provides endless opportunities for children's learning. Children are given the opportunities to discover, to explore, to be creative, and to be a problem solver when they are in nature. When children interact with the nature, they become a curious learner. They will learn by trial and errors. They will learn by thinking, asking questions, and predictions. Nature offers many benefits that enhance our children's learning experiences. When we bring children out for nature, such as the nature park, we can teach children to quieten down their mind and learn how to stay focused. There are many unique sightings, sounds, and smells that triggers our children's senses. For example, when we bring our children to the park for bird watching, they will learn to stay as quiet as possible to observe the movement of the birds in the tree, sky, and or the birds on the ground. They also listen to the calls of the birds, and this helps our children to learn how to stay focused on their task. And nature actually influence our children's confidence and life skills. Children can also take part in risk-taking activities when they are out in the nature. So our teachers can actually assess the area and provide a safe environment for our children to be engaged in risk-taking activities. And when children are engaged in the risk-taking activities, they build up their self-confidence and have valuable life skills. For example, when getting the children to climb up the rock and jump down from it, and for risk, and it's also important that we can advocate for the appreciation and care for the nature. It's important for us to teach our next generation to appreciate and to protect nature and not to take it for granted as we are getting more and more urbanized. We also need to teach our children to learn how to appreciate and what are the steps they can take to protect the nature. And I was really lucky to be able to collaborate with Nature Society Singapore back then to work on this program called the Every Singaporean a Naturalist for the Center. So our children actually learn how to use the binoculars to look out for birds. They also get to learn at least 35 different species of birds by the end of K2. And our children help to watch the biodiversity of birds in the Nature Tsenghua Park. And we were able to work with children holistic development and making use of the nature. Minister definitely also shared that going outdoor has many benefits compared to just learning in the classroom. So you make use of the nature, you make use of the biodiversity as the teaching tools, use nature to teach about values, to teach them about certain behaviors and principles that you want to bring across. It also further drives me in my passion when I saw a group of my K2 children when they were hosting the ministers and guests during our official opening and during events. They were able to share the scientific names of the birds and the use of binoculars with everyone. Children are more willing to take part in risk-taking activities such as rock climbing, and they were able to assess the risk before partaking in the activities. So through nature, I can see how my children actually go holistically and be confident. So give me a second. Let me bring up the next slide. Okay. So our children were confidently sharing and guiding the minister, the VIPs and parents on the use of the binoculars and to look out for the birds. We also had a collaboration with the Nature Society Singapore to create a bird journal. So this bird journal is actually listed in their website and it can be shared publicly as well. So all of you can actually download a copy of it via the website. And lastly, I'm very thankful that ELEC actually allows me to be an advocate for our children to protect and appreciate the nature through our day-to-day interaction with nature and practice. And I'll be able to share the knowledge with the teachers, which can be translated into their daily practice with children and through peer sharing in the sector. And I'll be able to learn and share my knowledge with a larger group of audience. Hence, I'm very thankful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Persis. Actually, Persis, I heard that you own parrots, right? Do let us meet your parrots one day, yeah? Thank you so much. Once again, thank you to Farah, Rina, Nisa, and Persis for your insightful sharing. After all your wonderful sharing, I'm sure that our MOS is also keen to get to know other pastels and to hear your thoughts on advancing pedagogical skills in the sector. So MOS, do you have any questions for our pastels this afternoon?
Thanks for the opportunity. Wow, there are so many different learning points that we have heard from the different pastel educators just now. So I was wondering whether I could also hear from our other participants who are online. What aspect of sharing would you look forward to most? Perhaps you'd like to share some examples or some special pedagogical practices you have that you have tried out in the classroom that's especially effective. Maybe I'll just throw the question open and see whether any of our pastels would like to share their experiences. Over.
Thank you, MOS. Pastels, do feel free to share and engage with MOS. If anyone would like to share your answer to MOS's questions, go ahead, unmute yourself on your camera and let us know who you are. Okay, I actually know of a rose among our thorns this afternoon, and he's actually Mr. Aizat. I know Mr. Aizat personally from another program. So our rose among the thorns, Mr. Aizat, would you like to share your views with MOS this afternoon?
Hi, good afternoon, Minister, and also employers and also fellow pastels. Yeah, my name is Aizat. Yeah, I'm one of the principals with Mosaic Preschool. I'm also a member of the ECLC as well as a pastel. Yeah, so I'm representing the language and literacy gang per se. So one of the things that work well with my classrooms, right, is the use of like unorthodox method of teaching. So I think I've shared it in other like conferences and sharing before. I like to use very simple magic tricks to kind of like captivate the attention of children. So it's usually like a launching point towards other areas of learning. So in the area of language and literacy, like I think one of our peers have mentioned, the use of drama and storytelling is a very powerful way to encourage learning of a language. So I think I'm looking forward to meeting in person or virtually all of us in this community here to kind of like have like cross talks and sharings about how we can elevate the level of the sector, and how we can learn from each other and as well as share our knowledge amongst each other. Yeah, thank you very much for allowing me to share.
Thank you, Aizat.
Yes, some of you may know that I'm very, very sold and into the idea of storytelling. In fact, I do it every weekend online through Facebook because I find that telling stories is such a good way of learning language, and at the same time sharing the messages that can be found in many beautiful and very meaningful books for preschoolers. But one thing that I've never managed to do, which every time when I go and visit a preschool, I'm so inspired by the preschool teachers, is your use of props. And also your ability to sometimes to get the children to get involved in the storytelling. That is something that I feel that, once we are able to meet physically, I think it could be a key learning point between our ECLC, our pastels. I myself, I'm not artistically inclined. So if you ask me to make a prop, right, myself, I've absolutely no idea how to do it. But I find that our preschool educators are so wonderfully adept, at making all sorts of things from recycled materials and getting the children involved. So I think that's definitely one area. So thank you very much, Mr. Isaac, for mentioning it. I think that will be something very interesting that our pastels can look forward to sharing with each other about. If there is time for another question, I was wondering whether our pastels would have an idea or vision of what you would see as a indicator of excellence in our preschool sector. I think it's easy for primary schools and secondary schools because people always think about examinations or being posted to a school of their choice, for instance. But for preschool, what to you in your mind is an indicator of excellence? Maybe I'll just throw the question open to everyone as well. Over. Anyone?
Our pastels, are y'all feeling shy this afternoon? Don't feel shy. Come engage with our MOS this afternoon.
There is one thing I would say though, that just now right at the start, right, when we did the poll, I was very inspired by the fact that there was a slight margin of people who actually picked the choice about making children happy. I can't remember the exact phrasing of the sentence, but I think it had to do with making children happy. And just now I had said that one of the differentiations between primary school, secondary school compared to preschool is that they have indicators such as examinations and so on and so forth. But the converse is also true in the sense that there is one indicator in preschool that I find some parents and also educators said is somehow missing in primary school and secondary school, which is the happiness level. And I find that our children, when they are in preschool, the happiness and the joy is very apparent. Whether or not it's because you have incorporated nature, or whether it's because of storytelling, or it's because of the way you sayang them and take care of them. But I found that one of those indicators is actually happiness, which is actually quite readily revealed on the faces of the children. I don't know whether you feel the same. Would anybody want to share?
One person that I actually know of who she spreads joy and happiness to all her children because of her name as well. It's actually somebody I know as well. Her name is B. They call her Miss B, and her name is Jiayi, Po Jiayi. So Miss B, would you like to come and spread your happiness, your buzz of happiness with us?
Hello, I'm B. I'm actually from NTC First Campus. I think one indicator is putting happiness not just for the children, but also for the colleagues coming together, parents. I think we are a community. So when everybody comes together to play our part, it's really a beautiful sight that we want to see. So a lot of empathy, I guess. And another indicator I thought was like sometimes it's okay for the children to not be happy, but they're able to regulate themselves better. So I think confidence would be one thing that I want to see as a successful indicator. Yeah.
That was a very, thank you for that, Jiayi or B. I think you hit the nail on the head. Indeed, confidence is one of those things I think that we have to try to build in our children when young. And sometimes it's not it's not about how well they speak, or about how well they present themselves. It's just the ability and that courage to express themselves, regardless how it is expressed. I think that is important. And sometimes it is also personality driven. Some children are born naturally more shy than others. Sometimes it also has to do with parenting and the family environment. But I definitely think that the preschool is a place whereby the teachers can encourage the children to speak up. And once they are encouraged to speak up, I think subsequently their willingness to learn and to present themselves, and then when they go into primary school, so on and so forth, I think it will come easier to them when they pick up that confidence at preschool. So thank you very much for that, Jia Yi. I will definitely include that in my list apart from happiness. Thanks. Over to you. I don't have any other questions. Wondering if anybody has questions for me.
Thank you, MOS, for your wonderful sharing. Pastels, does anyone have any questions that you would like to ask our MOS today, this afternoon?
Sorry, may I just add on to the previous question? Yeah, I'm Nina here from PCF.
Hey, hi.
I think another good indicator would be the child being a creative learner. Because I find that in preschool, we get the opportunity to actually get children to problem solve. So not just in terms of art and crafts, but also problem solving. They get very creative with how they want to solve problems. So you could see, like, for example, we have STEMI in place. And then like in routines, maybe if a toddler spills some drink, then we would ask the child, how would you solve the problem? What do you want to do to fix, get rid of the milk that spilled and things like that. So I think that's another indicator we could look at.
Thanks for that, Lina. Thanks for that. It just sparked something in my mind. Once I went to visit a preschool, I wouldn't name it, but I recall that there was a child who had learning and developmental needs. And the teacher made sure that the child had a buddy. And there was some, I can't remember what was happening. It was an experiment or something. But basically, I think the children were being asked to come forward and to basically touch the temperature of different objects, and basically say hot or cold or something like that, The actual experiment itself is not important. But what I recall was that the child who had differing learning abilities and needs, right, went up and he couldn't express himself. And then a small group of students were like calling out his name. I can't remember what his name was, because everybody was waiting for their turn, you see, and he hadn't given the answer. So the next child couldn't go. So children being children, they would it's not that they were being nasty to him, but they were just shouting his name as a way to encourage him to quickly say, so whatever his name was, it's like Daniel or something. It's like Daniel, that kind of thing. And then the buddy of Daniel turned around and said, he is learning. Turned around and told all the students, he is learning. And I remember that very, very well because she was his buddy and she was trying to encourage him. So she wasn't shouting at the other children to say, hey, don't hurry him, but expressing that, give him some time, he's learning, he's trying, And to me, I thought that was very, very touching because the teacher didn't say anything. The teacher was just conducting the experiment, but I'm very sure that actually a lot has happened before that lesson that I witnessed. And that is why the classroom dynamics was the way it was. So apart from what I think we shared earlier about happiness, about confidence, about being creative learners, I think one other thing is about how we could together create an inclusive environment for our children to learn from each other. And also on this platform, I think it is for our ECLC educators, our pastels to learn from each other. And I think together we can really create that happy and inclusive environment where our children will be able to thrive. Thank you very much. I don't have any more questions. Over to you.
Thank you so much, MOS. I think we all wish we had that buddy that Daniel had. We will have very, very happy childhoods if we all had that very one buddy. So thank you so much again, MOS, for your time. Thank you for all our pastels time to engage with MOS this afternoon. It was a very meaningful engagement for all of us. And we are glad to have the opportunity to hear some of your thoughts about ECLC, peer sharing, and some of the topics that MOS raised today. Thank you, MOS.
Thank you.
So before today's event, we actually delivered a very special welcome pack to all our pastels. And within the welcome pack, you all will have found a pin in the shape of pastels. So we would like to invite all our pastels to get ready your pins for this segment. And please turn on your video camera if you have not already done so. So everybody get ready your pastel shaped pins, please. Okay, I see some of you showing it to me already. Very nice. So pastels, if you are ready, please pin it on the left side of your chest, close to where your heart is. But for some reason, if due to your outfit today, you are not able to pin it on your outfit, no worries at all. Please hold the pin up close to where your heart is. As you are doing so, MOS, employers, and our resource persons are now bearing witness as you pin it onto your outfit close to your heart. And this is symbolic of the start of your ECLC journey and commitment as ECLC pastels. Okay, once you are done pinning, give us a wide smile on screen to let us know. We'll give you some time else to put it on your outfit, as MOS and our employers and RPs bear witness at this moment. I see all the very wide smiles at me. I'm smiling back right at you this afternoon. Let's give a few more seconds to the rest who are still putting on their pins or holding up to their hearts. Okay, I see a sea of beautiful smiles all ready for this, and I see that our pastels have completed their pinning. So thank you MOS, employers and resource persons for witnessing this very meaningful moment. Can we have MOS and our 4 resource persons to remain on screen to join us for the virtual group photo taking together with our pastels? So everyone, please switch on your video camera to landscape mode for the best effect and get ready to put on your best smiles. And when you see yourself on screen, it is an indication that your photograph will be taken, so do hold your smiles for our photographer to capture them. Okay, ready? Everybody say cheese! Smile! Looking great! Looking good. We're going to next page. Keep your smiles going. Very good. One more, next page. Hold up, hold on. Almost there, almost there. Next page. Looking great, everyone. Your smiles. I can even see your eyes smiling, even though some of you are wearing your mask today. Okay. Okay, last group shot, everybody. Hang in there. Thank you, the last group, for hanging in there. Alright, thank you so much everyone. Thank you MOS and everyone for putting on your best smiles for us. All the group photographs and recording of today's event will be made available to you as well. So what a meaningful and memorable afternoon this has been with all of you. And once again, thank you to MOS, CE, ACE, resource persons and employers for joining us this afternoon. And to all our pastels, thank you for embarking on this journey of peer sharing and learning and the pursuit of pedagogical excellence together with us. I wish everyone a good evening ahead. Thank you.